Hello, and welcome back for today's video. I'm super excited because I have a new shell challenge. This is something that we all love in our community. I think shell challenges are a great way to build community and support one another. It's always fun to see what you all do with your shells, and we always have something that's just drastically different in mind when we do these. And I'm really excited, particularly for this shell, just because of the weird, funky shapes and nooks that we have with it. And I know all of you are super creative, and I also know that so far, this is the most downloaded shell challenge that we've done. So there's a lot going on. I'm excited to see how many entries we get, because so far we've been able to tour all of them in our live streams. But this one, we might not be able to. It is a bigger shell. It's going to take more time to get through, but we'll see. So I did build this shell in Evergreen Harbor, and this is kind of what it looks like. It has some pretty funky nooks and crannies to it, which is why we called it the Tetris shell. So that came up in live stream. I wasn't sure what we were going to call it, but it was suggested to call it the Tetris shell, and I was like, I can see that. I can see that from the top down too. You can see like there's some funky shapes to this, especially like over on this side. So starting on the bottom floor, this isn't too odd down here. I think you can work with it. There are a couple little funky like single tile right here, and then you have like this little bump out here. But it's the upstairs, in my opinion, that actually makes it harder to work with, because downstairs, if you were trying to put a staircase, it's not impossible, but it's hard. It's really hard because the second floor is in a way bigger than the first floor. It's just shaped differently. And in fact, I was struggling with this so much in the live stream that I decided to actually make it a community lot, which is very unlike me because I primarily do residential. And then the third floor up here is kind of weird because it's just two separate rooms. But obviously with these shell challenges, you can do balconies, so you can expand this out. You can do half walls. You just can't attach the full wall to the external shell. But this is what the shell is looking like. It is on the gallery. I'd love to have you all participate if you want to. Don't mind this. This was a bathroom I did using the new sleek bathroom kit. I have a video on that, and I'll link that down below if you want to check out my review on that. I used the platform and I refused to delete any walls to make it work. I did not want to upload as two separate rooms. But on the gallery, you can see it's called the Tetris Shell Challenge, and we have 51. Y'all, it was 50 just a second ago. Someone else has downloaded this. So we have 51 downloads on this so far, and the tours are on May 4th. So y'all still have plenty of time to get this in. You have a few weeks. It's going to be on our Sunday night stream, 6 p.m. Eastern. And, you know, May 4th is a fun day. You know, may the 4th be with you, if you know what I'm saying. I might have used a lot of Journey to Batu in mine. I know. Don't come after me. I know it's controversial. I secretly kind of like that pack from the build mode aspect. So again, you just can't change any of the existing walls. My exterior walls have to remain, but of course you can add interior walls, make a floor plan. You can add half walls, fences, roofs, patios, platforms. You can even have a separate building, which I did in mine as well. You can do that. It's just don't add on rooms that are attached to the shell already. Just make sure when you upload it, you use hashtag Dr. Sim's Tetris shell. That way I can find it easily. And then also if you want to put in the comments over here or in your description which lot it's on, I always try to place it on the lot that you actually build it on. And I don't have them all memorized by the photos, so just bear with me. But let's go check out what I did. So this is my lot at a glance, just kind of giving like a quick little pan view around. Can kind of get the vibes a little bit. And then I'll tell y'all the story, the backstory to this, because y'all know I like having a good story with my builds, but I went ahead and put the eco lot trait, I put science layer and study spot. So you might be able to kind of get the vibes of what we're doing here. But this is what I'm calling the Harborview Innovation Hub. And so if you're not familiar with Evergreen, it kind of comes as this like very rough looking world, and then you can like vote whenever you're playing in live mode, and you can like make it look prettier and greener. It's all focused on obviously the eco lifestyle pack and like going green and being better for the environment. So with this, my idea with this build was simply that Evergreen Harbor has these like docks, and you have like the cargo ships and containers over here. So my idea with this was that we were going to take the docks that were littered with like all of this metal and abandoned containers that was just kind of getting rusted and everything, and repurpose it because it was an eyesore to the community. So we were repurposing the metal to build the building with. That way we didn't have to like use new materials. We're recycling materials. A scientist and an engineer came together and came up with this idea to have this innovation hub for research. And the whole point of this was to draw in a lot of like diverse research. So we have medics that are passionate about revolutionizing healthcare and doing a lot of medical research. We have chemists who are into the mysteries of matter and looking at all of these other alternative choices for plastics and things like that. Engineers are obsessed with robotics. We know that's the future. Like we can't get around that. It's coming, y'all. No matter how you feel about it, it's coming. We also have eco-scientists determined to pioneer like sustainable living solutions, and that just kind of goes in hand with Evergreen Harbor. And what's fun is that I put the eco lab kind of on the rooftop. And, you can see the dome up here with the alien plants and such. We have the solar panels, all of that stuff. I'll get into that in just a second. But that's kind of like their vibe with their lab being here and doing all of this on the rooftop with all of the eco lifestyle projects that we have. One thing that I thought was kind of fun was having this little bar area. So they have like their own recreational area in the hub as well, just to get away from all of the work because they practically live here. You know, like mad scientists, they never leave the office. They're there 24/7. I was like, they need a place where maybe they can just grab a bite or something like that. And so I was putting that into the build as well. However, every lab, has its own secrets. So behind the complex, we have a little inconspicuous shipping container that has like a confidential discovery with maybe an alien, but not everyone knows. It's like a secret lab. But enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and like check it out in more detail. So we have this like nice build up to the front door here. I put these two objects. I thought they like slotted well together to add some greenery. Evergreen Harbor in its current state originally is like not very green. So I wanted to keep with the terrain. We have like a lot of these more dead looking bushes. So I put these like yellow bushes and like the dead grass kind of everywhere. I put this grass here because it's in the shade, so it grows a little bit better there. I put a parking lot, which this is my first time doing this, but I learned from some people some cool things to do with this, like the handicap spot here. So if you take this thousands of years old object and you could actually shape it into like a wheelchair, a person in a wheelchair. But we got a little parking lot back here, dumpster, pay to park, have your bikes. You have a bike rack over here on this side too. We got some benches, fun little, map area, trash cans. I did want to like have something with some landscaping here. So I thought it was cool to pull this because it's like an old metal piece and it went with the story, and put some plants in that. We have our little business sign, and then we have like this little kind of like a junkyard area, but it also just stores contents for research things and items that we could use. We have like a little walkway over here, a little sign here because this is like restricted area is what I was thinking with that. And so the pathway kind of goes around the complex on this side. So that's it at a glance. Let's go ahead and check out the first floor. So as you come in, we have this like little waiting area. Maybe we have people come and like they participate in research or they volunteer for research. So we have like this little waiting area. People can sit down. We have a vending machine right there, read some magazines. You come over here, and then we have like a bathroom to our left. We'll go check that out in a second. Just some nice little clutter objects. I was trying to like get the vibes for an engineering complex. So it's not like meant to be pretty. Again, it's recycled metals and materials that we pulled from like the cargo yard over by the arbor. But this is the medical wing over here. So right off the bat, we have like our decontamination chamber. So you use that first and you come in. I did pull stuff from like the vet career. So that's why you have a couple of jars that maybe have like a paw print like over here. But it just kind of went with the vibes. We have the test tubes and everything. So I was just going to pretend like we can ignore that, But it's like supposed to be a research facility more so. And so we have like a lot of the medical equipment in here. I did have the surgical table at first, but it took up a lot of space and I wasn't able to get more of the cluttered items that I wanted. So I went with getting this scanner instead. And then we have like a little patient room off of that. So if we have to draw blood or do some testing in here, give them privacy for our volunteers. But we have like the little doctor bag, have a phone, have a little cabinet over there. So this is the vibes for like the little medical unit. And then off of that, I put a lot of the pipe details and things like that in this build. This is just like a really small little bathroom. put the little wash your hands sign like for employees, but just the more industrial kind of towel holder. You come out here, this is like the kind of back porch area. It's not really a balcony space, but you can like play chess. I have a little sabak table, whatever you call it, over here. And just put a little bit of some plants. I didn't want to actually go overboard with the greenery because it doesn't really fit the vibe of the landscape around us. So believe it or not, I did not do that. So y'all know how I like my plants though. So normally I do have a lot of plants, but let's go ahead and head upstairs. I did think it was cute to put some of this clutter up here. So we like have the little bulletin boards where people maybe are looking for roommates or, you know, have a lost dog or whatever. This is a community lot, so keep that in mind, that we could have even residents come by and be like, can we put this on your bulletin board? So that's the idea with that. But we have like this little wraparound staircase. So once we come up here, this is where we start getting to the chemistry and engineering level. And I put like a little coffee station in here. Like, it's not really a lounge, but it is an area where you could put things like that if you wanted to. I even like put the tea kettle over here on top of books, which I thought was kind of cute considering it's a research lab. And so we have security cameras all over the place. This is more the chemistry area. So I had a lot of fun using a lot of the machinery and things like that. I'm not used to using these too much. I've done it in one other build, literally one other build I can think of that I've done stuff like this. And so you come over here. This is more like the office station for one of our scientists. So this is where they work. Then you have more lab equipment. And then when you come over here, this is more of the engineering robotics hub in this room. So if you remember those like weird little one tile nooks that we have on this side, it looks really cool in my opinion on the external part of the building through the window to have these like processor things. So I thought that was kind of a neat vibe to put in there, and it matches the vibe for like what I would think of as an engineering space. And then we even have like some like little math looking chalkboard area and things like that in this room. Have the robotics stuff right there. I had a lot of fun like digging into these types of items. Again, I primarily do residential, and on top of that, it's just like I've not done anything with the engineering skills. It was fun to do things like that and put like exit signs and directories around the room. Like right here with the arrow, you can find your exit and your bathroom over here. So this is the second bathroom space. Very similar to the first. It's just like one tile wide. But I thought the engineering team might have something more like this. So they get the talking John. And then I thought it was fun to use this object, kind of like the shades in here too. I'm treating it like a metal curtain, but it's just like one of those garage door type things that you can pull down and raise up. But similar vibes, just a quick little bathroom space. And just keep in mind, you do have this down here that functions as a shower, so you could still take showers on this lot too. So as a community lot, it kind of still works in that capacity. So we have a lot of little balcony spaces. This is one of them. Just like having a little bit more of like junk out here. Maybe the engineers treat it as a little junkyard space, some seating areas. And then I put the archaeology bench out here. I just thought that was kind of a vibe to have something like that. Also, just maybe even as a hobby, I could see someone, you know, doing stuff like that in here. And the vibe of it just kind of worked well, I thought, with the lot in and of itself. And you can see there's a ladder to go up. We're going to go there in a second, but we do have another door right here. I put a little balcony space on this part in the front of the build, and we have like a woodworking table out here too. So the idea with this was that since it's a community lot, I still want it to be functional and have a lot of skill building, just so any Sims can come here and literally tinker and do anything. So far, this is like a top-down view of the first floor and then the second floor. And then we have our fun little third floor. And technically, I guess we do have a fourth floor if you think about it. But as we come up here, this is where we get to our like little cantina area. So it's like a little bit of a bar space, just a little relaxation. And I did put like more machinery and stuff. So we have this kind of stuff everywhere in the lot. But this is like our little bar nook area, little cantina. I used some stuff from Journey to Batu. I use Journey to Batu a lot in this pack, along with Strangerville, Eco Lifestyle, and Get to Work. And then this was like meant to be the little eco area. We have the fabricator, we have the recycler in here, we have the water generator, just all of that type of stuff. And then we have a couple of these generators out here. put a couple of plants there, and we have another ladder that goes up right here. And so once we get up here, this is where we do a lot of like the hydroponics. We have the plants, we have the alien plants here growing in the dome as well. We're studying them because they grow really well under, you know, extreme heat conditions. As you can see, again, like all of this is dead greenery. So I was thinking, not necessarily like we're in a desert, but it's just not the best environment for greenery to grow. Granted, I mean, we do have all of this over here, but you know, just stick with the vibes, stick with me. We do research some of the alien plants here as well. And so I put a lot of the gardening tools and things like that up here. We have the solar panels, we have the solar water heaters, we have the dew collector, some contaminants in here, samples, whatever you want to pretend that those are. So that's kind of the vibes of the lot at a glance with this build. And then on top of that, I saved this for the last part. So I put a security camera outside the little secret lab. So once we come in here, we have our wart frog and just a lot of clutter, like confidential files and things like that, little research area. We have the probe, and then we have this little room here, which requires a key card and has like all the warnings on it, and you can like look through this little window, and we have our alien in the test tube. So this is I think a really fun, clever way to use this. It's a fun space in my opinion, but we're studying this alien secretly. Not everyone knows what's back here, and that's kind of the vibe, you know. But I was just trying to go for like lots of red orangey tones. I thought that match the vibe with the footprint here, and I was kind of using the train as inspo. We have the cars over here that are kind of red and orange. We have a little bit of blue, so I wanted to incorporate that here. These are just like the debug containers, so it helps fill the lot in a little bit more. This one was a little bit tricky to put on top because, as you can see with the wall height, I had a taller wall height for the first floor, and obviously you can't change it even on a separate building. And so I like kind of clipped it on top of this so it looks like it's the same size. And then I just had fun digging into like all the pipes and all of this type of stuff that I don't use super often to make it look a little bit more, I don't know, lived in. I will say this build is very different from pretty much anything else I've done, but I think it's really fun. I think it's a fun concept, and I think it's going to be really functional for a ton of different sims. Again, we have so many skills that you can do here with the gardening, the engineering stuff, the woodworking table, we have archaeology, we have the health stuff, we have the chemistry stuff. It's just like so many fun things that your sims can do on the lot is the idea behind that. And then they can at least have some like party snacks. There is a fridge here, there's coffee, there are bathrooms, there's the decontamination shower. So, I mean, it's pretty functional in a lot of ways. And then y'all know I like to hide things in my builds. So in this one, I hid a thing of alien juice. So this is what you're looking for in this build. And the idea with this was that a scientist snuck into the restricted lab back in the back container and took a sample from the alien in the tube and is trying to study it for confidential purposes. So we know that someone is taking the juice, but they're somehow getting around our security cameras, and we gotta find the juice because it could be used for nefarious purposes. So let me know if y'all find this. I always love hiding things in my builds. I don't know that people actually use them. I will say I normally use a lot of packs in my builds, so I'm not surprised if people can't download them. I try to do some restricted packs. This one, however, does not use nearly as many as I usually use, which I know is hard to believe. And really it's 2 times because the third time is just 1. So give me a little bit of leniency here. It's not nearly as much. Y'all, normally we have to scroll 4 or 5. So I did much better, and it's because I was focusing, like I said, primarily on Get to Work, Eco Lifestyle, Journey to Batu, and Strangerville. And I did quickly add Sleep Bathroom Kit in here. I had to add Phil. Y'all know how I feel about Phil. That plant is my new favorite. I had to put him in. So I'm sorry. I wouldn't have had to scroll that extra 1 time if it weren't for me adding something from that kit. But there's Phil in all his glory. We love Phil. And honestly, with my first pet stuff, I don't even know where this is. I don't remember using that. It must be like a swatch that has something else with it. But anyways, you don't need all those packs. You could download this, and if you have those 4 main packs that I talked about, you should be pretty good for the most part. Eco Lifestyle, Get to Work, Strangerville, and Journey to Batu. That's the one, though, that might kind of mess with people a little bit. But I am putting it on the gallery. Again, it's Harborview Innovation Hub. I'd love to have you join part of the shell challenge that we do. Just remember, one last plug, May 4th is the due date for that. and then just use this hashtag, Dr. Sims Tetris Shell. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you want to join in on doing the challenge, because we have a lot of fun whenever we tour these. It's so exciting to see what happens, and I think we're gonna have some bingo cards for this time. I had a couple of people saying they would make some. It's okay if we don't, but if you want to join in on that fun too, you can join the Discord. I have a link down below for that. We have some fun staying in touch between uploads and also just between live streams. Would love to catch you over on Twitch, where I stream literally everything. I do stream some games to YouTube, but not everything. So if you want to catch me on other games that I play, would love to have you over there. I've started doing some more lives on TikTok that are not gaming related. If y'all want to hang out while I work during the day sometimes or do other things, would love to have you over on TikTok as well. And then lastly, I know I have a lot of plugs, y'all. I'm really sorry. Lastly, if you want to support me, I really appreciate it. You can become a Soul supporter, and that gives you an extra little couple of perks and a shout out at the end of the video. I really appreciate the couple that I have so far. It means a lot to me that y'all want to support me, and truthfully, I'm just very grateful, so thank you so much. And if you want to see what we did for the last shell challenge, you can check that out over here. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye. Y'all, I really do love shell challenges because it gets you out of your comfort zone so much. Even when I make the shell myself, like this is a build I never normally would do.